Okay, screen is visible, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. So prior to this, in first semester, which programming language you have learned?
C plus.
C language.
Yes, it was C programming language. So which kind of language it was?
Procedural.
Procedure oriented.
Very good, procedure
Procedure.
oriented language. So what comes to your mind when we talk about procedural oriented programming language? What comes to your mind?
It follows step-by-step approach.
Very good. It follows step by step approach and things were done only in the three phases. Which were those three phases? Does anyone remember? Input, processing, and output. Right? We were giving some input, and based on whatever logic we have provided, accordingly it was processing, and at the end we were getting output for that particular task. Right? So that was the approach followed by C programming language. Now, what were the loopholes in this C programming language so that we need to jump to this object oriented programming language? What were the problems with this? Any idea if anyone have?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the
Yes,
main focus was only on function, not on the flow of data.
very
And in
good.
object-oriented, the focus on flow of data.
Excellent, excellent.
Ma'am, in
So,
C language, we cannot initialize classes, but in
very good,
object-oriented program, we can.
very good, perfect. Classes were not supported
Ma'am,
here.
just
Here it supports classes. Yes, anybody else wants to add on? Can you repeat again?
data security, ma'am.
Yes, very good. Data security as access specifiers were not used in procedure oriented programming, while here we were using access specifier. We are using access
Ma'am, data
specifier.
encaps and data
Exactly.
encapsulation.
That
Oh,
are all OOPS features, right? That will be supported only in object oriented programming language. Right. Now, what were the other issues with this procedure oriented programming language? It was not able to handle huge number of data. It wasn't able to handle the huge number of data, as well as it was not able to deal with complex programs. Okay, complex programs were not handled easily with the C programming language, and that is why we have moved towards this object oriented approach. Previously, if you move to previous era of computers, in that case you might have noticed that people were using desktop application. Yes or no? In that era people were using only desktop applications, but nowadays what do you notice? People are using web applications, mobile applications. Do you have any idea about how these web applications and mobile applications are being created? In which programming language they are being created? Can you tell me?
web application can be created by CSS, HTML, JavaScript,
Very good.
like basically front-end engineering.
Exactly, front end engineering. But in this case, can we use Java, C++, then can we use .NET, PHP, Python, right? Yes or no? Yes or no? These all programming languages
Yes,
are
ma'am.
used for creating the web applications.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if I say this programming language are used for creating the web application, so can we say that these all programming languages come under object oriented programming languages? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Now,
Yes, ma'am.
exactly. And which all programming languages come under procedure oriented programming? Do you have any idea about that? C, VB, Fortran, Pascal, right? These all languages come under
Algol.
procedure oriented programming. Algol, yes, all those languages. Using that, we were not able to create web applications. Have you heard any time that using VB, Fortran, Pascal or C web application has been created? Have you heard?
No, ma'am.
No,
No.
ma'am.
No.
Yes. And even in C, we were using variables. On running program thrice, 4 times, 5 times, we can just give different inputs for those variables, right? But were we able to store them somewhere? Were we able to access them once we just close our console? Was that possible?
No.
No, that wasn't possible in procedure oriented programming. So if I tell you that nowadays we are using this web applications, right? So right now, if you notice, see, this is also a web application. Why? Because see, you all are the objects. You are using this application all together simultaneously. Yes or no? And what all object you will be having within yourself? You will be having your unique user ID, password. Yes or no? All of you have unique identities, and because of that only you are able to access your application. You will be logging into your own dashboard on logging into the system, and that to see you are using them simultaneously. Can we do this thing using desktop application? Can we do this thing using desktop application? If I have a desktop application, then can multiple users sign in into that application and perform different tasks altogether? No, that is not possible, right? And that is why this object oriented programming approach came into existence, wherein each and every real time entity, that is objects like you, we all are objects. So that is why we have unique identities, and using that unique identities our database stores such objects, and then it allows us to log in into our own dashboard when we provide appropriate ID and password. Are you getting what I'm trying to say, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Okay. All right. So now you might have understood why we have moved to this object oriented programming. So if you wanted to become developer after completing your bachelor's, then you should be known perfectly with this object oriented programming approaches. Okay. Are you getting that? Right, because obviously
Yes,
you're going
ma'am.
to develop web applications according to the demand of users. Nowadays people are using web applications only, nobody is using desktop application. Okay, desktop application is used mostly where we have entire embedded system wherein we have some gaming application fixed over it, right? In malls you might have found that, and even with some desktop applications which provides you great animations with the gaming things, right? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
great. All right. So what do you mean by this object? Obviously, object, as I told right now, it's a real-time entity, that is you or me, any of the object who has some properties within it as well as who has some functionalities, who can perform some functions on its own. It will be more clear to you when we will see further what all things can be included. Okay, now let us move forward. So weightage for this chapter is 5%, and hours that will be required for completing these chapters would be 2 hours. So this one lecture and one more lecture I'll be taking. Now, why do we learn programming languages? Do you have any idea about why we need to learn programming languages? Give answer on your own. Just if it is wrong, don't worry about that. Yes, dear.
As programming
To
is a
communicate with the computer.
Very good. To communicate with computer. And one more student. Yes,
To work
Tanvi.
with machine.
set of instructions so as to create a software and so as to create something. So
Excellent.
on
Yes,
it
yes.
continue step by step set of instructions it will execute to create a particular software or anything.
Very good. Now, why there is need of creating software? Tell me.
For
Yes,
better and
Perf.
faster processing.
Excellent. For better and faster processing. Okay, for reducing our manual tasks, we are creating the softwares, right? For maintaining the data, we are creating the softwares. Yes or no? So exactly the same thing over here. Why do we need to learn the programming languages? To create softwares which would make our tasks easier, not just for earning degree or not just for getting a job. It is for making our tasks more and more easier with the softwares. Okay. Okay. Just to reduce the manual task. Now, how your software should be? It should be easy to interact. It should have attractive user interface. Now, for an example, if you have 2 to 3 softwares doing same work, but one of its user interface is very interactive, very attractive, then obviously you're going to choose that particular software for doing your tasks, right? Same way, if same way, easy navigation should be there inside the application. So now, if I talk about easy navigation, then there is one software wherein you have to go to the main menu every time when you wanted to change the module. Will it be feasible for you to work with such software? Every time you have to follow the longer path for moving to any of the module. And if I provide you a thing like this, I'm providing you the drop down over here, and I'm giving you the list of modules where you can visit those modules directly by clicking from here. So what is convenient to you? Going to the main menu first of all and following the thousands of steps, or just directly clicking it from the same page?
From this drop down option.
From the
Very good.
same
Yes,
page.
very good. From the same page by going to the drop down option. That would be more convenient, right? Now, rebuilding of software is required in case of change in interface. Now, I had my application for 5 years on the web. That was the web application. But soon I realized that now people are switching to mobile applications. So what I need to do, I need to change the interface. I need to convert my web application to mobile application. Yes or no? So how should be your code? Your code should be so much easier for others to understand. It should have perfect variable names. It should not have variables name like A, B, or C. Else, if I refer to the longer code and at the end I will forget that what was this A for, what was this B, C, or this for, right? So it should have perfect variable names. If I am referring to roll number, then R capital roll number, this way it should be. Okay, means it should have proper naming conventions, because obviously the person who has developed this web application is not going to develop the mobile application. It is not necessary that every web developer knows to develop the mobile application, right? So if I give this code, if I ask my mobile application developer to create the same kind of system for mobile app, then he should be easily able to do it from this code. Also mention the comments wherever required. Wherever things are difficult for understanding, mention the comments in your program. Right? Are you getting? Don't mention silly comments which are easier to understand. Just place the comments wherever it is difficult, wherever you find that ये समझ में नहीं आएगा third person को. ठीक है? Now, ensure reusability and extensibility of module in future. So you should create a module in such a way that it can be reusable in future, as well as if I am collecting the roll number and name in one of the module, after some days I realize that collecting email address as well as phone number is also essential, then your system should be so easy that I can modify any of the module from it anytime. Is that clear? How software should be built?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, which all applications contain, which of the applications are created using C++? So some of the gaming applications, okay, which have the great animation interface like GTA or NFS, such kind of applications can be created using C++. GUI based applications like railway reservation systems and banking applications previously, which were the black and white systems. Do you remember? Black and white systems, you need to stand in a long queue and then you have to wait for reservation. Then in the digital displays, it was displaying that whether you have reserved any seat or not, or whether you are in the waiting list. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then Adobe, most of the Adobe systems are built with C++. Photoshop and Illustrator is one of them. Operating systems, Windows, Linux are built using C++. Database softwares, MySQL, MS SQL are built with C++. Browsers like Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Thunderbird are built with C++. Animation tools for VR and AR, augmented reality, are built with C++. Those are the desktop tools. Compilers, few of the programming compilers are also built with C++. Banking applications, again that black and white screens. Then embedded systems. What do you mean by embedded systems? Combination of hardware and software on it, right? So on the hardware, if you do some programming to get some mixture of hardware and software, that is called as embedded system. Your smartphone, your mobile phone, calculator, these are all the examples of embedded systems, right? So these are all the applications that can be built with C++, and I want you guys, in your free time, you can just analyze these applications and at least try to build one module out of it, okay, so that you can satisfied by yourself that I have built something unique from my side in C++. And at the end, if you are building an application, you can also mention it in your resume after 4 years, right? Now, procedure oriented programming. So it was also known as structured programming language. Why structured? That you know very well, and it was popular in 1980s. It helped programmers to write moderately complex programs, not highly complex programs. However, when program grows larger, the structured approach got failed in achieving the desired results. So results which we're expecting, we are not achieving with procedure-oriented programming language. And it is not able to create bug-free or easy to maintain or reusable programs, okay, which can be maintained easily with object-oriented programming language. That you will come to know and that you will understand when we move further. Then you will say that C में प्रोग्रामिंग करने से अच्छा C++ में ज़्यादा मज़ा आ रहा है, ठीक है? Alright. Now, why object-oriented programming? Do you know who created this object-oriented, this C++ programming language? What comes to
Jan
your...
Stroustrup.
Jan Stroustrup.
Yes. C++. Looking at this, what comes to your mind?
It is advanced than C.
Yes, increment operator. Yes or no? So it is the advanced version of C programming language. And yes, it was created by Jan Stroustrup in 1979. And yes, this was created by merging two different programming languages. Which were those two programming languages? One was C and another one was Simula 67. What it is? Simula 67. From C, it has inherited few features like pointer, then loops. Okay, so most of the logical features were from C, and other features like class object were from Simula 67. Okay, inheritance, all those were from Simula 67. Is that clear?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So now, object-oriented programming is the merger of structured programming as well as few of the powerful new concepts that I have mentioned over here, which are under Simula 67. Okay. Consider it as a new way of organizing and developing the programs, right? You can see object-oriented programming supports too many different types of languages. So here the language does not matter. The way you can set up a program, that matters. The way you handle the program matters. Okay. What we can say at the end, all languages do not support object-oriented programming concepts easily. That we have already seen as an example. Now, what is a class, that we will discuss later on. First of all, let me show you one simple example of C++ program. Always keep a habit of saving your file with .cpp extension. There we are writing hash include studio.h, right? Here, what is your first sentence? It should be IO stream. Okay. Then, as we followed the structure over there, header, then main function, and then the body part of the main function, same way here also will be following the same. Header, main function, and body part. Okay, now what will this body part contain? Let me start with the basic print function, which will print something on the output. So here, there we were using printf, but here in C++, what we'll be using? We'll be using cout, that is console output. Okay, what is this operator? What is this operator? It is, according to C,
Insertion.
it is the left shift operator, but in C++, it is known as the insertion operator. Okay, now if I wanted to print something on the screen directly, I can mention it in this manner. Let me try to run this code and see what we are facing. See, there is an error because the scope hasn't been declared, and this alternative that they have suggested is standard. Then what is this operator? This is scope resolution operator. What it is? Scope resolution operator. So that we have to mention over here. Okay, so this standard is what? It is the namespace. It is the space that we give to the particular function. Okay, so that this hello students can stay within this particular namespace for some time. Okay, let me try to run it now. Yes, now the output is visible. Sorry. Okay, now if I have hundreds of this cout and cin functions, so every time I'm going to write it in this manner? No. What is the another option? You can write it in this manner using namespace stand. Okay, then you can remove it from here, it will work fine. Got it? Clear everyone? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, if I wanted to ask user for inputting something, then let me take one. Here also data types that we are using are similar to, are same as C programming language. Just one more is added to it, which is that, do you know? That is string. Okay, string has been added. Previously, we were writing the character and we are creating the array for storing the string value. Do you remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
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 Right, so here directly you can use string data type. Now what is this operator? Cin. Like there we were using scanf, no? Here we will be using cin instead of that. Okay, and this is exertion operator, or what we can say is extraction operator. Sorry, no need to put inverted commas. Directly you can mention roll number. Here parser is still passing the files. It is showing that because my parser is not able to load whatever I have written over here. Otherwise what will happen, जैसे आप RO लिखोगे ना, it will give the suggestion for writing roll number. Okay. Okay, so you have entered 12. Now it is looking bit messy, so what I can do is I can end this line. Instead of /n we can use and line over here. Now if in case of C programming we were using %d wherever, if suppose I wanted the output over here, the value of this variable over here, I used to write %d over here. If I wanted here, then I was writing %d over here. Now giving the format specifier in C++ is not possible, right? But if I want my roll number to be displayed over here instead of there, then what I can do, I can just in this manner. Okay, now let us try to run it. Okay, so user entered. Wherever you want that, you can directly specify the name of variable. No need to remember any format specifier or anything. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so this was very basic program for C++. Now we'll move forward towards class. What do you mean by class? Do you remember anything that we studied like structure in C programming? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
How
ma'am.
were
Yes, ma'am.
we writing the struct? It was like this: struct, name of struct, and within that what we were specifying? We were specifying the members. Yes or no? We were specifying the
Yes.
members, and then in the main function what we were doing? We were creating the variable for the structure's name, right? So let me write down name over here. So name and then name of that particular n1, suppose this is the variable that I have created, okay, for the struct. Now whenever this variable wants to refer to any of this member from this struct, what we were using? We were using dot operator in between. Yes or no? It is also known as period operator. Dot, period, okay, and then member that you have mentioned. Were we accessing this way? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
right? Right. So same is the concept with class. Same is the concept with class. Okay. It is similar to struct. How you will be creating the class, then name of class. Suppose the class is students. Within that, suppose I have data members. Data members means what? Variables. Okay. So integer, there can be roll number, then string, there can be name. Okay. And then after completing this, here I'll be having semicolon. After completing the curly bracket, I'll be having semicolon at the end. Then in the main function, what I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to create object for this. Okay, so how to create that object? Students S1, S2, as many as objects you can create. So this first student will have roll number and name as the data member. So what they will be having over here, roll number 1 will have roll number 1 and name is suppose ABC. Roll number 2 will have 2 as the value and XYZ. That way roll number 3 and PQR. Are you getting? So they will be using the same data members, but values that they will be giving to those attributes would be different. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Yes or no, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, can we call a class as a user-defined data type as we were calling to the structure? Yes or no? So,
Yes, ma'am.
what will this class contain?
ma'am.
It will contain data members that we have seen right now and member functions. Now, what is member function? That are the functions that we create. Integer, suppose show. That is the user-defined function that we create. And whatever the functionalities we want, we can mention within that. Is that clear? So this is what? This is member function. Okay, it is member function. And what are this? These are the data members or variables. So in short, these variables when declared inside the class are called as data members, and when you declare a function in a class, it is known as member function. Remember that. Okay, and they are accessed using what? They are accessed using objects or instance. Another name for object is instance. Remember, so if anybody asks you what do you mean by instance in C++, then you have to answer the same thing that you are going to answer for object. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can we call this particular thing as a blueprint for an object? Yes or no? Because see, my each and every object, if I have created 10 such objects, all these 10 objects are going to follow the same blueprint. Only the answers or the value that it is going to have for this blueprint would be different. For all these members, whatever the values will be entered by these objects would be different. Are you getting? So that is why what we can call it as a blueprint or the template. Okay, now let me give you one more live example of a class. For an example, you are in class CS2, right? You are in class CS2. So you all are the objects of this class. Who are you all? You are the real-time entities. You are the objects of this class. What all properties you will possess in common? You will possess roll number, name, yes or no, subjects in common, right? So what would be unique for you all? You will have your unique roll number, you will have your unique name, right? So your that properties, the value for that roll number and name would be different, but all of you are accessing those same attributes. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
okay, great. Okay, so now what are functionalities? What are the functionalities, or what are we calling as a member functions? So right now what you guys are doing, you are attending lecture. That is also one function. While attending lecture, which of your properties will be useful? Your roll number and name will be useful for attendance, right? Now after some time, if you wanted to visit to a doctor, then will your roll number and name work over there? Will you use your same properties, that is roll number and name? Tell me. No, right. You won't be using your roll number. Yes, you will be using your name, but not your roll number, right? Which other properties you will be using when you are going to deal with doctor? Your age, your weight, right? So based on function, based on the behavior, or based on the situation, your properties that you are going to use for that function are also going to differ. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So what do we call as these data members? They are the variables, and member functions, what are they? They are the functions, right? Now, functions, if I'm talking to a layman, then I cannot use this word data member and member functions. I cannot use this kind of words, right? Because people will like, layman is not going to understand what is data member or member function. I need to tell him that your tell me your property related to roll number and name, or tell me your behavior in this case, right? Behavior, that is what it is synonym for. It is synonym for function, and property, that is synonym for data member or variable, or another word for this is attributes as well. Okay, are you getting? For an example, let me take an example of car. So what all properties car can have in common? Wheels, four wheels, right? Then speed limit, mileage, range. But if I talk about the object of this car, if I talk about the object of this car, then can I include the brands as an object? Yes or no? For an example, Audi, Maruti Suzuki, BMW. So see, this all will act as an object. Why? Because this all are going to access these features. They are going to access these features. That is four wheels, speed limits, mileage range. Yes, that is correct. This is going to be accessed by all of these brands. But Audi will have different speed limit, while Maruti Suzuki will have different speed limit. Audi's mileage range would be different, and Suzuki's mileage range would be different. Yes or no? That means they will be using these properties, but values that they are going to store for this particular brand or the object would be different. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, what all functionalities this car can perform? Applying brakes, pressing accelerator for increasing speed, right? So this all functionalities are also dependent on the speed limit or the mileage range. Okay, now what do you mean by a class? Basically, the another definition is, it can be said as the template. As I told you, it is said as the blueprint, right? Same way we can call it as a template to create a set of objects. Then it can be called as the static definition as well, right? Why? Because code that we write in a class, over here, it is going to remain same. Just the values are going to get changed whenever we are creating the objects for it. Are you getting? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, when we are creating this class and when we are defining or declaring the members within it, does the memory gets allocated? In case of structure, what was happening? Was memory getting allocated when we are declaring the members? No.
And memory is allocated. We declare the structure as itself. And here I
Variable.
think after declaring object, memory gets
Exactly.
allocated.
Exactly. So in this case, when you create an object, at that time memory will get allocated. Okay. Now, you can have one or more objects described by a class, or they can be instantiated at the runtime. Right? You can enter the value for each and every object during the runtime as well. If you place it in the scene like this, scene and then s1 dot roll number, so this you can enter the value for this particular data member during the runtime. The objects are called instances of the class. So as I said, another name for object is instance. Each instance will have its own distinct set of attributes. So if I talk about S1, S2, S3, everyone will have unique values. Values would be unique or distinct. Okay, but set of attributes that it is going to use will be same. That is roll number, and everyone is going to use the same set of attributes. But each of them will be having unique values for this set of attributes. Is repeated, every object has the same attribute, but distinct values will be there for each and every instance. What do you mean by data members and the member functions? So data members are the variables, and yes, they are of the same types that we were following in C: integer, character, float, as well as derived data type like class, structure, and pointer. Member functions, they are the functions. They can be either they can follow a specifier, access specifier. What do you mean by access specifier? Which controls the access of particular member inside a class. Okay, so that can be public, private, or protected. Now, where do you mention this? So I have told you that we are creating a class and then we are starting this curly bracket. Over here only you have to mention this access specifier. If you don't mention any access specifier, by default it will take private access specifier. What? It will take private access specifier by default. Is that clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you mean by object? So object is a runtime entity. It can be a person, place, bank account, anything. So real world object have attributes and behaviors. What do you mean by attributes? I have told you right now only. It is the synonym for properties, or what you call as a data member. And behavior, that is the synonym for functions. Okay. Now if I talk about dog, then dog will have breed, color. I don't consider this. Breed and color can be the attributes of dog. Then behaviors, what all behaviors dog contain? Eating, sleeping. Okay. Bank account, if I talk about bank account, then attributes can be account number, owner, balance, and behaviors can be either we can withdraw or deposit. Functionalities that we can do with the bank account are either withdraw or deposit. Okay. And yes, important note, when class is defined, no memory is allocated to it, but when it is instantiated, or when the object is created at that time only the memory is allocated. Got it? One class can have multiple objects which can interact with each other. How these objects are going to interact with each other, that we will be seeing in the OOPS concepts. Okay, that we will be understanding in more detail in our next lecture. Let me show you one small demonstration with class CS. Now, if I wanted to create a class, remember two things. As you were placing studio.h, ponyo.h, यहाँ पे आप iostream and using namespace std, habit of putting these two lines every time. Okay, when if you are using this code blocks in Turbo C, no need to use namespace. But there you have to write iostream.h. Here no need to mention iostream.h. Only iostream will work. Okay, now be creating one class, say students. At the end automatically this semicolon will get placed. Integer roll number, integer name, and let me create one member function as well. Here I will be displaying roll number. I'll just pass in comments integer and string. I wrote integer over here. Now inside this main function we have created this class named students. In this, what are these two things? What are they?
Data members.
Data member.
Exactly, data members. And what is this? Member function.
Member function.
Function.
Okay.
Method.
Okay. S1. What I'm doing is students roll number equals to 1 and S1 dot name equals to, as it is string, we need to mention it in double quotes. Now I'm trying to call this function, and as you know, integer and string, it is taking two arguments, so I am supposed to pass those two arguments from here. Roll number S1 dot name. Okay, now let me try to execute this and we'll see what we are facing. Oh, see, what can you see over here? Integer student roll number is private. So what I told you, by default it will take private. We have to make it public. Okay, now let me run this. Working? Are you getting the output? See, 1 and APC. Is that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Easy or difficult? Yes.
Ma'am, only the function, if it is made public, then also it will work, right?
Yes, yes. But in this case over here, you might have not noticed the error that was occurred. See, if I comment this, see what error we are getting. See, integer student's roll number is private.
No, ma'am, I am telling that roll number and name can remain private, and if you will take that function, that method which you have
Okay, you are
show
trying to say
as
that I'll make this public. Are you trying to say that?
yes, yes,
Okay,
yes,
let
ma'am,
us
and then
execute.
directly pass rather than writing, rather than declaring and initializing it in the object, we can directly pass that.
Yes,
That I was telling.
you can do that. You can do it in many different ways, but this was just for showing you the demonstration that we can do it in this manner as well. You can either take it
Yes,
in cin and then you can give the value at the runtime as well, or either directly you can pass the values over here, right? Anyways,
yes,
it will work. This is just a simple common, you can experiment by your own on this. Okay, and still if you are facing any difficulties while experimenting, then you can just let me know. Okay, I'll be helping you for that. You can just leave your screenshot of code and output in your chat, in your team's chat, okay, to me personally. I will be helping you if you face any difficulties while experimenting. Okay,
yes,
any
ma'am.
doubt in this till here? Understood everything till here, whatever we have seen?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we will
Yes,
continue
ma'am.
with this in the next lecture. All right.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Thank you, ma'am.
Please wait for a while. Let me take your attendance, then you can leave.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can we use all the escape sequences which we used previously in C? So can all that escape sequences be used in C++ or are some
No,
of them?
no. Few of them.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, and they do have their own pros and cons. I will be telling you about that in our next lecture. Don't worry.
Okay, ma'am.
We will go through that. Okay.
ma'am,
Just a minute. Yes. Yes, dear.
ma'am, I have done various projects of using class. So, ma'am, I have a main doubt. So, can I share you my screen?
But actually, I
I mean,
have
screenshot
another
in
task
personal chat.
right now. So you can, yes, you can share me the screenshots. As I told you, you can share it in
Yes,
chat.
ma'am.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
just a
ma'am.
minute. 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58 is absent. 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66 is absent. 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78 is absent. 9 and 80. Okay. Roll number 58, 66 and 78 are absent. Other all are present. You have the roll number still 80, right? इससे आगे है इस क्लास में?
No, ma'am, till
No,
80.
ma'am.
Okay, great. All right.